You're scrolling, working, suffering in silence. Everyone feels pain, but Seneca knew something you don't. 2,000 years ago, he wrote 124 letters to his student Lucilius. Each one was a weapon against suffering. Not denial, not avoidance. Real tools, real transformation. Seneca faced execution, political exile, loss, and he wrote his way through it. Here's the problem nobody talks about. You don't suffer from pain itself. You suffer from your story about the pain, your interpretation, your amplification. You twist it, you dramatize it, you make it bigger. Seneca called this negative visualization, not the event, the narrative you build around it. That narrative is what destroys you. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Read that again. Your mind is the problem, not your circumstances. You imagine worst-case scenarios, you replay failures, you catastrophize. You're not reacting to what's happening. You're reacting to what you're inventing. Seneca proved this. He taught it. He lived it. So what's the solution? Seneca's first weapon, negative visualization. But not the way you think. You don't catastrophize. You practice acceptance. Imagine losing what you have, your health, your money, your loved ones. Not to depress yourself, to appreciate what you have now, to prepare emotionally, to remove the shock when loss comes. This rewires your brain. You stop being blindsided by life. You stop treating good things as guarantees. You start treating them as gifts. Seneca wrote to Lucilius about his fear of poverty. Not because he was poor, because he wanted to master the fear before it mastered him. This is ancient psychology working perfectly today. Seneca's second weapon, perspective shift. You're suffering now. But is it actually catastrophic? Or are you comparing it to an imaginary perfect life that never existed? Seneca asked, what would be terrible if it happened to someone else? Apply this question to your pain. Suddenly it shrinks. It becomes manageable. It becomes human. Here's what Seneca understood that modern psychology is just now catching up to. Suffering is universal, but your isolation isn't. You think you're alone in your pain. You're not. Every human who lived faced the same struggles, the same fears, the same losses. Seneca wrote his letters knowing they'd reach millions across centuries. He was writing to you. Seneca's third weapon, action. Don't sit with suffering. Move. Do something productive. Write, study, help someone else. Physical action breaks the cycle of rumination. Your brain can't amplify pain while you're focused on meaningful work. This isn't distraction. This is transformation. This is how you convert suffering into purpose. You know what Seneca never said? Pretend the pain isn't real. He said, acknowledge it, understand it, refuse to be destroyed by it. This is crucial. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless. It's about being honest with yourself while refusing to be controlled by emotions. Big difference, massive difference. Seneca wrote about grief, about loss of loved ones, about facing death. He didn't minimize these experiences. He said, it is natural to feel sorrow when someone dies, but it's not natural to let that sorrow consume your entire life. Grieve, mourn, feel deeply, then choose to live anyway. That's the Stoic path. Here's what separates Seneca from modern self-help. He doesn't promise you'll stop suffering. He promises you'll stop suffering needlessly. You'll eliminate the suffering you're creating through poor thinking. The suffering that remains, loss, illness, mortality, you'll face with dignity. You'll transform it into wisdom. That's the actual goal. Seneca's fourth weapon. Examine your values. Most suffering comes from wanting things that don't matter. Status, wealth, approval. These are unstable. They depend on others. They can be taken. Seneca asks, what can't be taken from you? Your virtue, your character, your ability to respond with integrity. Build your life on these instead. Think about your biggest worry right now. Write it down. Now ask, is this in my control? If it's not, other people's opinions, the economy, death, stop fighting it. Accept it. Direct your energy to what you control. Your effort, your honesty, your response. Seneca called this the dichotomy of control. It's the most practical tool ever created. Here's what kills most people's progress. They know Seneca's wisdom intellectually. They read it, they nod. Then they go back to their old patterns. Seneca knew this. He wrote 124 letters, not for one reading, for constant return, for daily practice. Philosophy isn't knowledge, it's practice, it's repetition. It's becoming what you study. Seneca faced exile, poverty, political enemies, the command to commit suicide by his former student Nero. Yet his letters remain calm, strategic, wise, not because he wasn't human, because he'd trained his mind like an athlete trains their body. He'd practiced these principles until they became automatic. This is available to you right now. So what do you do starting today? Pick one letter from Seneca, read it slowly, sit with it. Ask yourself, how does this apply to my suffering right now? Then practice what it teaches. Tomorrow, pick another. In a month, your entire relationship with pain will shift. In a year, you'll be unrecognizable. This is how ancient wisdom becomes modern transformation. Seneca's final message to Lucilius and to you, the mind that has made a fair compact with virtue is armed against all misfortune. You don't need to eliminate pain. You need to align yourself with something larger than pain. Purpose, character, wisdom, virtue. When you do, suffering becomes information. It becomes fuel. It becomes the teacher that transforms you into who you're meant to be.